I felt like I seen one dude say, if your daughter was gonna give him 15 million, why he couldn't just give Gucci 5 and walk away with the 10? Shit, he was dumb to me. It's 9 of them. I ain't seen a 9 people goddamn case and since the 80s and all 9 of them stood up. Cause they gonna have so many expectations on Pooh Shiesty that he should be doing this, he should be doing this, he should be doing this, he should be doing this for all of them.
What's your prediction with Pooh Shiesty? Does he get off? Does he get sentenced to time?
Man, I hope he can get a deal. I hope he can fight. I hope he can get a deal to live to fight another day because, like, you know, if he put that Caucasian on the stand and if he put those police officers on the stand, man, when them police officers testify, them police officers turn and look at the jury and talk to the jury eye to eye. They don't keep their head straight. They trying to do your ass. I just feel like it was a better way the whole situation should have happened. You know, he should have tried to renegotiate the situation or goddamn changed his name and went to rapping on another damn name.
Pooh Shiesty walked out of federal prison in October 2025 after serving time on a firearms conspiracy conviction. He posted to Instagram from a high-rise balcony with an ankle monitor on his leg, saying studio, 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 record studio. His comeback single FDO, First Day Out, hit number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100. It looked like one of the cleanest redemption arcs in recent rap history. 3 months later, federal prosecutors in Dallas, Texas, allege he walked into a recording studio with a weapon, a crew of 8 co-conspirators, and a plan to force Gucci Mane, the man who signed him, the man who sent him the Instagram DM that started his entire career, to sign contract termination papers at gunpoint. He is now sitting in federal custody, facing conspiracy charges that each carry a potential sentence of up to life in prison. The trial is scheduled for February 2027. This is how we got here. Lantrell Donnell Williams Jr. was born on November 8, 1999, in South Memphis, Tennessee. His father went by Mob Boss and founded a Memphis-based independent label called Mob Ties Records, which meant Lantrell was watching studio sessions unfold and absorbing the mechanics of the music industry before most kids his age knew what a recording contract was. His older brother Terrence, who went by TDP, gave him the nickname Pooh Shiesty, combining their mother's childhood name for him with Shiesty, street vernacular for someone unpredictable and not to be underestimated. Terrence passed away from brain cancer on February 28, 2021, at just 27 years old. By then, the name he gave his little brother was already becoming one of the most recognized in rap. Pooh Shiesty began building a local following through YouTube and SoundCloud in 2019. By early 2020, his channel was approaching 200,000 subscribers. That grassroots momentum caught the attention of Gucci Mane, who sent him a direct message on Instagram and followed it with an offer. In April 2020, Williams officially signed to 1017 Records in a joint venture with Atlantic Records, reportedly valued at $10 million. The deal delivered immediately. Back in Blood featuring Lil Durk peaked at number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 and went 8 times platinum. His debut mixtape, Shia Season, debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Top Rap Albums chart and peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 200. Pitchfork called it one of the best debut rap projects of the year. He performed on The Tonight Show. He was named BET's Amplified Artist of the Month. The trajectory was undeniable, but something else entirely was unfolding in the background. On October 9, 2020, the same month his career was exploding, an incident occurred at the Landon Hotel in Bay Harbor Islands, Florida, that federal prosecutors would spend the next year building a case around. According to court documents and a criminal complaint affidavit signed by an FBI agent, Williams drove to the hotel in a rented bright green McLaren with his road manager Bobby Brown in the passenger seat. A third defendant, Jaden Rosa, followed separately in a black Mercedes-Benz Maybach. The setup was supposed to be a purchase: marijuana, cocaine, and high-end sneakers. Instead, according to prosecutors, Williams pulled a Draco subcompact weapon and fired, striking a 28-year-old man named Brandon Cooper in the buttocks. Williams and his co-defendants allegedly drove away with the sneakers and marijuana without paying. As the McLaren left the scene, a Louis Vuitton bag containing $40,912 in cash allegedly fell out of the driver's side door onto the hotel parking lot. That cash became one of the most damaging pieces of evidence in the entire case. Investigators matched the serial number on one of the recovered $100 bills to a bill that appeared fully legible in an Instagram post Williams had made just days before the incident. A post showing several long rifles and what prosecutors described as a large amount of cash in the frame. One bill, one serial number, digitally traceable and photographed by the defendant himself. Williams was arrested on October 13, 2020, and released on a $30,000 bond. He continued his career throughout the rest of 2020 and into 2021, but then, over Memorial Day weekend in May 2021, a second incident occurred. Williams was performing at the King of Diamonds strip club in Miami when cash allegedly scattered from his pocket during the performance. According to prosecutors, he drew a weapon and fired, striking a security guard in the ankle. He was arrested and denied bond. A federal grand jury returned an indictment in the Landon Hotel case in June 2021. The charges included conspiracy to possess a firearm in furtherance of crimes of violence and drug trafficking, and discharging a firearm in furtherance of a crime of violence, the latter carrying a mandatory minimum of 10 additional consecutive years and, depending on sentencing guidelines, potential life imprisonment. At 21 years old, Pooh Shiesty was genuinely facing the possibility of never walking free again. His defense team, led by attorney Bradford Cohen, challenged the case aggressively. They argued ballistic and forensic evidence proved Williams was not the shooter, pointing to the angle of the victim's wound and arguing the trajectory was physically inconsistent with a shot fired from someone in the McLaren's driver position. They also noted that Cooper, the victim, was later indicted himself in a separate bank fraud scheme, which complicated his credibility as a witness. Those developments shifted the prosecution's leverage enough that a deal became possible. On January 4, 2022, Williams pleaded guilty to count 1, conspiracy to possess a firearm in furtherance of crimes of violence and drug trafficking. In exchange, prosecutors dropped the remaining 3 counts, including the count carrying the potential life sentence. On April 20, 2022, U.S. District Chief Judge Kevin Michael Moore sentenced him to 63 months in federal prison, 5 years and 3 months, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Bradford Cohen told Rolling Stone that Williams was satisfied given the stakes. 3 counts dropped, including life exposure. Under the circumstances, it was the best available outcome. He served time at a high-security federal prison in Pennsylvania. Good conduct credits reduced his sentence significantly, and on October 6, 2025, nearly 6 months ahead of his original April 2026 release date, Pooh Shiesty walked out into federal supervised release. The ankle monitor post. The FDO video, which opened with a message from his mother and footage from the moment he walked out of custody. The number 12 debut on the Hot 100. The Apple Music interview. The studio session with Gunna. Everything pointed toward one of the most anticipated comebacks in years. And then January 10, 2026 happened. According to the U.S. Department of Justice and court documents filed in the Northern District of Texas, Williams and 8 co-conspirators traveled to Dallas and arrived at a music studio on Dallas Parkway. 3 victims, including Gucci Mane, whose legal name is Radrick Davis, flew in believing they were attending business discussions about Williams' recording contract with 1017 Records. Prosecutors allege Williams had grown unhappy with the terms of his deal and was seeking a release. Once the victims were inside the studio, prosecutors allege Williams pulled Gucci Mane separately into a private recording room. Already waiting were Williams' father, Lantrell Williams Sr., and Big 30, whose legal name is Rodney Wright Jr., and who has been Pooh Shiesty's closest musical collaborator since their very first professional single in 2019. Williams allegedly produced contract termination paperwork and instructed Gucci Mane to sign it. When Gucci Mane refused and an argument broke out, prosecutors allege Williams produced an AK-style pistol, pointed it at him, and forced him to sign. Another defendant stood nearby holding a firearm while Gucci Mane verbally confirmed on camera, "I signed the paper, it's done." Meanwhile, the 6 co-conspirators remaining in the control room allegedly produced firearms and robbed the other 2 victims, taking Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and high-value items including Gucci Mane's wedding ring. One victim was allegedly choked near unconsciousness. Big 30 allegedly barricaded the studio door with his body to prevent anyone from escaping. The total stolen property came to approximately $450,000. The evidentiary picture prosecutors are assembling is what makes this case particularly devastating. Within hours of leaving the studio, multiple defendants posted to social media displaying what appeared to be stolen jewelry. One account showed what investigators believe was a Rolex taken during the robbery. Another showed a defendant wearing purportedly stolen pieces. Those posts were cited directly in the federal complaint. Cell phone data, GPS location information, studio surveillance footage, and the alleged filmed footage of Gucci Mane's statement are all woven into the government's case across multiple federal districts. On July 1, 2026, new cell phone footage emerged and was filed in federal court, appearing to show the moment inside the studio that prosecutors describe in the complaint. DJ Academics shared it publicly and it spread immediately. Gucci Mane gave a statement to Dallas police at the scene on January 10th. He responded musically with a diss track called Crash Dummy, rapping, "Don't bite the hand that feeds you," and, "After all that, boy, you still signed to me." Whether he testifies at the February 2027 trial is not yet confirmed, but his account is already central to the federal complaint. Williams' supervised release from the Florida conviction explicitly prohibited him from committing new criminal offenses or possessing firearms. Prosecutors further allege he was able to travel to unapproved locations because of an inappropriate relationship with at least one of his case supervisors, who was later terminated. Text messages submitted in the case allegedly show Williams discussing being high and drunk, an independent probation violation. On April 1st and 2nd, 2026, law enforcement moved simultaneously across Dallas, Memphis, Nashville, and Atlanta. All 9 defendants, including Pooh Shiesty, his father, and Big 30 were taken into custody. Williams appeared in Dallas federal court on April 8th and was ordered held without bond. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Trial is February 22nd, 2027. He was not yet 27 years old when he was arrested. He had a #1 debut album, 8 platinum certifications, and a national television appearance on his resume. He had served his time, come home clean, and released a comeback single that debuted top 15 nationally. And then, according to the government, he allegedly walked into a recording studio and pointed a gun at the man who made all of it possible. What do you think happens at that February trial? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for every update on this case as it develops.